Let's do it, man. All right, guys, welcome back to another installment of What Client Has Awesome Results This Week. Come on, you guys know how it is. We do this every single day, every single week, 365 days a year. This, guys, right here is Amir Tantawi. Him and I have been working together for, man, a while, dude. A
It's been
while.
a while. I think it's
Yeah.
probably been maybe 8 months now,
Yeah.
maybe 8, 9 months, something like that.
It's been a solid amount of time. And the funny thing is that before coming on board and working together, we did a call a year or more, 2 years
Couple
ago,
years
maybe,
before that.
couple
Yeah,
years
yeah.
before, where he didn't take action originally, but then he decided after, continuing to consume the content and seeing the stuff that we were doing, he decided to do another call 8 or 9 months ago. And since then, we've been freaking killing it, man. Hey, we've
That's
been killing
it.
it.
That's
It's
it.
been
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been it's been a really good time. And so he's here today just to discuss his honest feedback with the program, and
Yeah.
give us a little bit more information about how he did with everything. So let's jump straight into it, man. So I guess first question is, give us a little bit more info about you. What do you do for work? What's your schedule like? Your family life like? Just so we can have a little bit of context as to who's Amir.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a real estate agent in the Silicon Valley, very competitive market.
Yep.
I have a family of four, meaning, wife, two kids,
Yep.
two little ones, ages 2 and 4. So I got a lot on my
Yeah.
plate.
Oh
And,
yeah.
uh, and then of course with real estate, I have my own business, right? So
Mhm.
that's already a heavy schedule there.
Yep.
But otherwise, my schedule starts early in the morning,
Mhm.
typically around 5 o'clock, hit the gym. For
Yep.
me, it's just the nice part about it, especially with the program that you set up a way where, with a small home gym, which is what it
Mhm.
is for me, that, with dumbbells and just some, basic workout equipment versus like an
Yep.
entire gym, that the program still works with that,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
it's kind of funny. For some time my wife didn't know that I was actually just going to the home gym, which is like here within our community.
Yeah.
And when she found out months later that I lost all this weight, and she's like, "Oh, you did that at the home gym?"
Yeah.
She
That's
was
awesome.
shocked, right?
Uh-huh.
That was even possible. But obviously, with your program, you have it figured out, you have it dialed in, right?
Yep.
Half hit, half strength training, at least for the
Yep.
weight loss portion of things.
Yep.
And it's worked out, and I lost a ton of weight, and I feel
Awesome.
much better. So
Awesome, man. That's freaking fantastic. So
yeah,
before we met, right? Like, I guess, well, we met years ago, but before we
yeah.
worked together, what were some of the struggles that you had that you were unable to solve?
100%.
Mhm.
So a couple of struggles that started with like when I'm trying to tie my shoe and my stomach's in the way
Yeah.
and I'm breathing hard, that's
Yeah.
not a good look. Not a
Yeah.
good look, not a
Yeah.
good feel.
Yeah.
It was super frustrating,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And so I know it's just getting way out of control. You
Mhm.
know, I look bad, I feel bad.
Yeah.
I was lazier, I was, with lesser energy.
Mhm.
So that was one of the problems. And then the second problem, because I'm in real estate,
Yep.
uh, I wear suits all the time. I had all custom suits
Mhm.
that were no longer fitting me, right?
Right.
And so my other thing was, I'm not
Yeah.
about to go out here and just buy all new custom suits.
Yeah.
I better start losing this weight,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
were the two primary motivators for me
Sure.
that really made me say, hey, like, this is just unacceptable. I need to take action. And that's what we did, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Week after week.
Hell
So
yeah, man. Well, I'm glad we did, bro. I'm glad we did. It's been amazing. So what were some of the things that we implemented early on to kind of break the ice and start that weight loss journey? Like, what were some of the things we implemented?
yeah, yeah. So we started off slow, right?
Mhm.
So speak,
Yep.
for the first couple of weeks, so that way you can gauge how, whatever I was consuming, which was healthier when
Yep.
I started the program, how my body was reacting to that,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
so that's what we first did, was kind of gauge that. Then once we gauged that, then we, started pushing it further
Yep.
with, you know, more healthier foods, selecting the right amounts,
Hmm.
right? Because what I figured out from you, what you've taught in the program
Yep.
is, it's not all about working out,
Nope.
right?
That's
It,
right.
it's actually primarily the sort of the opposite, right? It's
Yep.
about what we're
Yes.
consuming, which,
Yep.
as you say, is 80% of
Yep.
what the results are all about to lose weight.
Yep.
And then I really thought about it, and I'm like, well, it makes sense, right?
Mhm.
They say you are what you eat, right?
It's true.
So, you're
It's
gonna
true.
keep on you're gonna keep on eating and eating more and more.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna get fatter,
Yep.
right? And then
Absolutely.
obviously with, no or very little activity, that's just gonna continue to compound, right? And so, um, again, we started off, a little bit slower, just identifying me and how my body
Hmm.
functions, and that's what
Yep.
you did, obviously, and
Yep.
then making the right recommendations to adjust course from there.
Exactly.
um,
Yep.
and so, yeah, then again from there, it's like working out an hour a day, half
Yep.
hit,
Yep.
half strength training, and that's the right combination to
Oh,
lose.
totally.
What it was the average for me, a little bit shy of 2 pounds a week, but
Mhm.
very close to that method.
Yep. Yep.
And if somebody wants results, I mean, you have the program for
Put
it.
in, yeah, man, 100%, absolutely. And so, did you notice that your life changed at all? Not just physically. Were there any other changes that you noticed from the program that were like benefits for you?
Benefits for me, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Mhm.
I felt better, I
Yeah.
looked better.
Mhm.
I joke around with my kids, and I'm like, "Yeah, Daddy's strong, right?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
kids do the same thing. They're like, "Yeah, we're strong too,"
Yep.
And
Yep.
so, when we're flipping through Instagram, and
Yeah.
we'll come up on your videos, and my daughter would be like, "Oh man, he's strong," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my trainer right there."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
my daughter and my kids recognize what strong and good looking looks
Yep.
like now versus,
Awesome.
what lazy and really fat looks like. Wifey's probably a bit jealous.
Yeah. 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 Yep.
So, um, and and I'm losing too much weight,
Mhm.
right? That's what they
Yep.
say when when the six pack
Yeah.
starts coming in, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. 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 It's
how's
true. A
it?
little bit of jealousy comes
How
in.
is healthy too much,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's true,
So,
man. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is that like I feel like in relationships or in any area of life, like when you lead yourself to a high level, people can either take that positively and like want to get better with you, or sometimes people can take it negatively and get insecure. You know what I mean? So it really just depends, I guess, on the person. But either way, it's like we owe it to ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. You know what I
100%.
mean? So it's like, sorry.
100%.
You know what I
And,
mean?
and and same thing, with family, friends, clients, right? That have noticed, right? Like they're like, "Wow, you look so much lighter. You look so much slimmer. You look better." So on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then even my little brother, he said, I was so big, right? I lost a significant amount of weight in the
Yeah.
program,
Yeah.
and at the time, I told my brother, like, I'm gonna get a six pack, and he was like, "No, you're not gonna get a six pack."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yes, I will,"
Yes, I will. Yeah. Yeah. And you did, dude.
and that's what we did, right?
Hell yeah,
So,
man. Hell
um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I've always wanted a six pack, and when I was younger, I had one that just wasn't as defined as it
Yeah.
is you know, nowadays and through the program.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
if people really want to do it, they can.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. It's possible for anybody. You just got to have the right strategy, man. And so one of my last questions for you, brother, what were some of your biggest takeaways from the program? You know, like as far as training or nutrition or mindset were concerned, what were some of your biggest takeaways?
100%. Right.
Mhm.
So, a few things, right? Number one, you know, on a food consumption, you know, perspective, right? You know, people say like, oh, like, you know, the diet's so restrictive or this or that, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, when you really think about it, what's so restrictive about eating protein, right?
Mhm.
Chicken,
Mhm.
fish,
Yep.
you know, meat, you know, what's so restrictive about that from that perspective? And
Yeah.
then what's so bad about eating vegetables, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
you know, vegetable salad, right? It's all good stuff if you really think about it.
It's
Is
true.
just, you know, because you're fat, you're hating that, you know, things are getting better by eating healthier.
Yes.
So
Yep.
so that's number one. It's eating healthier more often, right?
Mhm.
And just kind of like with most things in life, right? You do, you know, like the 80-20 rule, right?
Yep.
For the
Yep.
most part, you're eating healthy, and then you got to live a little, right? Which
So
is
true. Yep.
how you have it set up, which
That's
is,
how I set it up. Yep. For
yeah,
myself as well.
if somebody, you know, if you're working out 5 days a week,
Mhm.
then you get a couple of cheat meals,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
If you miss, which you shouldn't, but if you did, then you're not going to get those two cheat meals. Maybe you get one if you missed a day, right? And so, you know, kind of learning that, which is better eating habits in general,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And better food consumption, and just being mindful of
Right.
how much I'm consuming, not
Right.
just consuming just to consume, just
Just to
because I'm,
consume. Yeah.
yeah,
So
just
true.
to consume just because I'm not in a good mood, or just because I am in a good mood, right?
Right.
And just over consume,
Right.
right? And so just being mindful of what I'm consuming and the consumption amounts,
Mhm.
and then, you know, being moderate with living life. So that's on
Yep.
the food perspective, and then on the, um, you know, on the working out perspective, right? It's, you know, we have to put in the effort,
Yep.
right? Like, whether it's me or Jeff Bezos or whoever, like,
Yep.
there's just no way around it if you want to live longer for your family,
It's true.
right?
Yep. So true.
And it doesn't matter who you are, no surgery or this or that, you know, some people try to cut corners,
Mhm.
is going to help in keeping you healthy, other than keeping your body moving and keeping, you
So
know,
true.
pumped. So
So
it's
true.
really about, you know, having the concept of, you know, doing an hour workout 5 days a week,
Yep.
right? And usually if I get it done earlier in the day, then I don't have to worry about it the rest of the day,
Right.
and it makes me feel better the
Mhm.
rest of the day,
Yeah.
right?
That's awesome.
And so that's on the working out side of things. And then, you know, from a mindset perspective, it's, you know, and I told you before we started the call that, you know, I have had some rocky moments as of the last
Of
few
course.
weeks, but
Yep.
even then, you know, I did miss out, you know, on some workouts over the last few weeks, meaning
Mhm.
I did the average of 4 versus 5.
Right.
Um, but part of the point is, what the mindset is even though I have been going through things, even though I've been busier and so on and so forth,
Yep.
um, to never drop off completely, number one.
Mhm.
And you know, if you do drop off a little bit, you know, pick right back up, because
Yep.
it's
Yep.
not gonna help you to get fatter, get lazier, you know, go back in the same cycle again.
Yep.
Is just not going to help you, your health, your money, your family,
So true.
so on and so forth.
So
So
true, man. And you hit the nail on the head, right? Like you've got to make this a lifestyle, right? Like you and
exactly,
you so and that actually leads me to my last question for you, man. Like, do you feel like empowered with the knowledge you've learned? Do you feel like you have
a hundred
shifted your
percent,
mindset, shifted your lifestyle? Do you feel like you're going to be able to continue this going on moving forward?
100%, 100%.
Awesome.
Because the way that I see it is that's the only way, now, right? Like this
Well,
is
only one option. Yes, that's perfect. That's
the
perfect.
only way. What
Yep.
happened is, again, I've been in the program, I'd say roughly about 9 months now.
Yep.
Is now for 9 months, that's all I've been doing.
Yep.
Right. So like now I'm just used to
Yep.
eating healthier, working out 5 days a week, right?
Yep.
Just
Yep.
having a better, more focused, stronger mindset.
Totally.
And so yes, I will, because again, that's the only way that I see it now, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
see the nasty eating nasty junk food,
Yeah.
this, that,
Yeah.
every day, all the time, fast food, so on and so forth.
Right.
I
Yep.
don't see that anymore. It's just not good, and I see a different perspective now.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. I love it, man. Well, that's amazing, brother. I just want to say thank you so much, man, for taking time out of your busy day
of
to
course,
share your feedback, man, because there's a lot of people out there who need to hear this stuff. A lot of people out there who watch my videos, a lot of people out there who need the help, a lot of people out there who haven't taken action yet, though. What would you say to a person who sees my content but hasn't fully and knows they need help but hasn't reached out? What would you tell that person based on your experience?
I'd say, pull the trigger, stop
Mhm.
wasting time,
Yeah.
right? And truly, the results speak for themselves,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's not just me saying this or somebody else seeing another testimonial.
Yeah.
It's what you're showing, right? You show
Mhm.
results of people that have been in your program week in and week out on your
Yep.
socials,
Yep.
and then also, I'll tell you this, right? Is you're a super cool guy,
Thank
right?
you, man. Appreciate
You're a
that, man.
super cool guy,
I
and
appreciate it.
your coaching style is very positive,
Yeah. Thank
right?
you. Yeah.
And and you understand that sometimes people go through things, and you're very
Mhm.
understanding, but you're also a coach, right?
Yeah.
And
100%.
so, it's don't waste your time. It's already
Awesome.
summertime, baby,
Yeah.
right?
It's summertime, baby. Let's get it.
It's
I love
summertime.
it, man. Dude, I love it. Well, listen, if there's anyone out there who's watching this testimonial right now and you want more information on the program, and by the way, we guarantee results in the program. If you guys want more information, all you have to do is head to my Instagram, Taj_How, and send me a message with the word transform. That's all you got to do. I'll send you all the information that you need. We'll jump on a call just like Amir and I did 8 months ago, 9 months ago, and hopefully you'll be the next success story. We'll see you guys all in the next one. Take care.